All right, so today we're going deep on something pretty fascinating, emotional AI.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and specifically how it's changing the whole landscape of customer experience, or CX, as the cool kids call it.
Yeah, everyone's talking about how to make those digital interactions we have all day, every day feel a little less like talking to a robot and a little more, well, human.
Right, exactly. And that's where this whole idea of emotional AI comes in.
And it's really incredible how fast this field is moving.
It is. We've got some really interesting research lined up for this deep dive that breaks down not just what emotional AI is, but how companies are actually using it right now with their customers.
That's what I love about these deep dives. We get to see the theory, but also how it's playing out in the real world.
Absolutely. So we're going to unpack what emotional AI is, how it works, the benefits it has for businesses that are using it, some ethical things to think about, and even look at a company called Pobuca that's doing some really cool things in this space.
Sounds like a plan.
So let's start with the basics.
Yeah.
What exactly is emotional AI?
Well, you can think of it like this. It's basically giving technology a way to understand human emotions.
Okay, like teaching a computer to read someone's feelings.
Yeah, essentially. So we call this effective computing.
Hmm.
And it's all about building systems that can detect, interpret, and then actually respond to those human emotions.
So it's not just recognizing a happy face in a photo, it's more nuanced than that.
Way more. These systems are looking at a whole bunch of data points. We're talking about text, so the words you type or write your voice, how you sound your facial expressions, and even things like physiological signals like heart rate or skin response in some cases.
Wow, so it's really going beyond just basic cues like a thumbs up emoji.
Definitely, it's trying to get at the deeper emotional states behind those expressions.
So it's like the system is learning to read between the lines of how we communicate.
Exactly. And there are a few key parts that make all of this possible.
Okay, let's break it down.
So the first one, and probably the one you hear about most often, is sentiment analysis.
Ah, yes, sentiment analysis. Everyone's talking about it, but what does it actually do for businesses?
It's all about figuring out the emotional tone behind text.
Okay, so like if someone leaves a review, is it positive, negative, neutral?
Exactly. And the cool thing is businesses can use this to analyze tons of text data. We're talking about customer reviews, social media posts, emails, chat logs, you name it.
So they can get a feel for the overall mood around their brand or a product launch.
Exactly. Imagine you release a new product and boom, within hours, you can see how people are feeling about it just by analyzing what they're saying online.
That's some seriously powerful insight.
Right. And it all comes down to this thing called natural language processing, or NLP.
NLP, that sounds familiar.
It's basically how AI learns to understand language, not just the dictionary definition of words, but how we actually use them, the slang, the sarcasm, the context. It's all there.
That's amazing. So it's like teaching the AI to understand not just what we say, but what we mean.
You got it. And that's how it can pick up on those subtle emotional cues hidden within all that text data.
So sentiment analysis is using NLP to get a read on customer emotions from text. What's next?
All right, so then we move on to emotional recognition.
Okay, so is that where we bring in things like facial expressions and tone of voice?
It's about going beyond just words and looking at those nonverbal cues.
So this is where technologies like computer vision and audio analysis come in.
Exactly. Those are the tools that let AI start to decipher those nonverbal signals.
I imagine that's a lot harder for AI to get right.
It definitely is. Humans are complex,
Yeah.
but these technologies are getting better and better at recognizing those core emotions like happiness, sadness, anger, frustration, the big ones.
So picture this. You're on a website checking out a new product, and there's a little video demo popping up.
Okay, I'm with you.
Now imagine the AI is watching your face while you're watching, and it's picking up on your reactions in real time.
Like if you're looking bored or confused, or if your eyes light up when they show a certain feature.
Exactly. That's emotional recognition in action.
And that's super valuable feedback for businesses, way more immediate than waiting for someone to fill out a survey later.
It's like getting direct insight into that gut reaction people have.
That's the power of it.
So we've got sentiment analysis working with text and emotional recognition, looking at those nonverbal cues. What's the third piece of the puzzle?
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. We call it AI-powered empathy.
AI empathy. Now, that sounds like a bit of a leap.
It might sound futuristic, but it's essentially about taking those insights from sentiment analysis and emotional recognition and then using them to craft a more empathetic response.
Okay, so the system isn't just recognizing I'm frustrated. It's actually trying to react in a way that shows it understands.
That's the idea. Think about it like this. You're chatting with a customer service bot online, and it senses you're getting annoyed.
Maybe I'm typing in all caps.
Haha, exactly. So instead of just spitting out a generic response, the bot might say something like, I understand this is frustrating. Let's see what we can do to fix this quickly. Or it might even decide to transfer you to a human agent who's better equipped to handle those tricky situations.
So it's like the bot is learning to be more sensitive and adjust its behavior based on my emotional state.
Exactly. It's about making the interaction feel more personalized and well-human.
So we're moving away from those one-size-fits-all responses.
Exactly. And that can make a huge difference in how satisfied customers are.
Makes sense. Happier customers, happier business, right?
You got it. So let's dig into some of the specific ways emotional AI is boosting that customer satisfaction.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So first up, we've got personalized customer interactions.
We touched on that a bit with the chatbot example, but how does that work on a larger scale?
Well, imagine a company has access to all this emotional data about its customers. They can use that to tailor their communication in real time.
So like if they know I'm usually a happy-go-lucky customer, but suddenly I'm sending angry emails, they might handle things differently.
That's exactly it. They might flag your issue as high priority, route it to a senior agent, someone who's really good at calming people down.
It's like they're customizing the experience based on my individual emotional profile.
Exactly. And that level of personalization can really make a customer feel heard and valued.
Makes sense. What else?
Another big one is proactive issue resolution.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly?
It's all about using emotional AI to spot problems before they become huge blowups.
Okay, so like if I'm on a website and I keep clicking the same button over and over again, but nothing's happening.
Exactly. The system could pick up on that repetitive behavior, plus maybe some frustrated typing in a chat box, and then bam, a little message pops up offering help, or maybe they even proactively connect you with a live agent.
So they're stopping that frustration from building up and turning into a bad experience.
Precisely. It's about anticipating those pain points and intervening early.
That's pretty cool. I like the idea of companies being more proactive.
And, Pobuca, the company we mentioned earlier, they're actually doing some really interesting work in this area. Their platform can flag customer interactions where the language suggests increasing frustration, giving those support teams a heads up.
That's really smart. It's like giving businesses a sixth sense for customer emotions.
Right. And that kind of early warning system can be incredibly valuable for keeping customers happy.
So emotional AI isn't just about reacting, it's about predicting and preventing those negative experiences.
You got it. And all of this data companies are gathering about our emotions isn't just useful for immediate interactions.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It can also play a huge role in product development.
Oh, that makes sense. If you know how people are really feeling about a product, you can make it better.
Exactly. By analyzing those emotional responses, companies can get a much deeper understanding of what features people love, what frustrates them, what they really value.
So if they see that a particular design element is consistently causing confusion or annoyance, they can tweak it or even scrap it altogether.
Right. It's about using emotional data to guide those product decisions, making sure they're really meeting customer needs.
It's like giving companies a window into the hearts and minds of their customers.
And that leads to better products,
Yeah.
happier customers.
Yeah.
Everyone wins.
So we've talked a lot about the what and the how of emotional AI, but let's talk about who.
Okay, who's out there actually using this stuff?
Yeah, we mentioned Pobuca earlier. What are they doing in the world of emotional AI?
So Pobuca is a company that specializes in CX and loyalty management solutions.
Okay, so they're all about helping businesses improve those customer relationships.
Exactly. And they've integrated AI, including sentiment analysis, into their platform to help businesses get a much clearer picture of their customers.
So they're using this technology to help companies connect with their customers on a deeper level.
That's the idea. Their Pobuca Experience Cloud platform is all about analyzing customer interactions and feedback across different channels.
So how does that sentiment analysis piece fit into their platform?
Their AI is analyzing everything: social media, posts, emails, chat logs, even recordings of phone calls.
Wow, so they're really covering all the bases.
They're trying to capture that full spectrum of customer interaction. And by analyzing the sentiment behind all of that, data businesses can get some really valuable insights.
So they can see overall trends in customer satisfaction, identify areas where they're excelling, and spot potential problems before they escalate.
Exactly. It's like having a dashboard for customer emotions.
That's pretty powerful. And you mentioned they also do something called voice of customer analytics.
Right. Voshai, that's all about gathering feedback directly from customers.
So surveys, feedback forms, reviews, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And Pobuca's tools use AI to analyze all that feedback, turning it into actionable insights.
So it's not just about collecting a bunch of data, it's about making sense of it and figuring out what really matters to customers.
Exactly. And they're looking for those critical to quality aspects, the things that truly drive customer satisfaction and loyalty.
So they're helping businesses move beyond just listening to their customers to actually understanding them.
That's the goal. And it's a great example of how emotional AI is being applied in a really practical way.
So to recap our emotional AI deep dive, we've learned that it's all about giving technology the ability to understand and respond to human emotions.
Right. And we've seen how that plays out in those personalized customer interactions, those proactive problem-solving moments, and even how companies develop their products.
We've also seen how companies like Pobuca are using emotional AI to build real solutions that businesses can use to improve their customer relationships.
They're really at the forefront of this exciting field.
And I think it raises some really interesting questions about the future as AI gets even better at reading our emotions. How will that change the way we interact with technology?
Something to think about for sure.
Well, I think that about wraps up our emotional AI deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
Until next